So today we have Mr. Christopher Lim, the Consul General of Australia in Chengdu. Sorry, and nice to meet you, Mr. Lim.
Nice to see you,
Yeah.
and nice to meet iChongqing.
Okay. Because we have Mr. Lim last year in Smart China Expo 2019, and in this year we want to hear some some stories between Australian Consulate General in Chengdu and Smart China Expo Online 2020. So it's a very special edition this year, but I believe there are some more opportunities between Australian enterprises and Chongqing right now. So I want to ask you if you would like to share with us about how well Australia participated in the 2020 Smart China Expo online this time, and what are the highlights? Yeah.
Sure. This is actually the third year that we've participated in the Smart China Expo. So we've been there ever since the first time it was held, which is in 2018. And I remember it very well. And in the space of a few years, it's grown to be a very important expo. And I remember also originally the expo was actually done in order to was actually held in order to actually modernize Chongqing's industrial transformation, and I think that now, with COVID-19, the idea of smart technologies and transformation of a modern economy is even more important. So therefore, I think that having this expo is very good. So from from Australia's perspective, we've had participation from year one. Last year, we led a big delegation, including from the sister city of Brisbane and the friendship city of Sydney for Chongqing, and so therefore we also had this year a cloud innovation and entrepreneurship roadshow, which we held together with the Chongqing Foreign Affairs Office and also the Yangjiang New Area. From the Australian side, we brought together a number of participants, including the Australian Trade and Investment Commission, the Trade and Investment Queensland, and of course, companies that participated. The three companies that participated from Australia were Euclidean, which is a company specializing in holographic imaging, and they actually participated in the 2019 Smart China Expo, and because of that expo, they found a lot of collaborative partners, and one of them is the Chongqing Survey Institute. To cut a very long story short, they signed an MOU, and now this company called Euclidean is producing holographic imaging for the city of Chongqing with the Chongqing Survey Institute. It's a very exciting project, and I brought my ambassador, the Australian ambassador to China, to the Survey Institute in January this year, and he was very impressed in collaboration between Australia and Chongqing in this area. So another two companies who participated was a company called EnviroSuite, and they looked at pollution and environmental management, and they specialize in noise pollution. So that's very important. And also the other company is called MOX. They do automated systems and help to provide solutions for industries as well as companies. So that's the participation that we have this year at Smart China Expo.
Yeah, that's a lot of information to hear. And can you give us some introduction of the roadshow you mentioned last week.
Yes. So basically, the roadshow that we held last week was a joint effort between the Chongqing Foreign Affairs, office and the Liangjiang new area, as well as I said the Australian Trade and Investment Corporation and Trade Investment Queensland. And so, so what was quite evident of it was that even this was actually done online, and it demonstrated how Chongqing and Australia could actually work in a very innovative way. We had a professor, a very well-known professor from Australia called Professor Ian Fraser, participating from the University of Queensland. And he's a world-famous immunologist. He was the co-inventor of the treatment of vaccine for cervical cancer. And he actually did collaboration with Chinese scientists. And he gave a keynote speech which is extremely inspiring and talked about collaboration between the two sides. He visited Chongqing last year, 2019, and he was very impressed, by what Chongqing has to offer. And I have no doubt there will be, greater collaboration between his university and Chongqing in the future.
Oh, really? So I heard that a lot of companies in Chongqing and in Australia had participated in the roadshow last week. So I hope there are some cooperations and prizes for those companies and deeper cooperation later. So
Yes.
I yeah, I just want to know what are the cooperation between Australia and Chongqing in smart industry and
Mm,
technology in the
mm,
past few years.
mm, mm. Well, the collaboration in smart industries between Australia and Chongqing didn't just start in the last few years. There's actually been a long history of cooperation between Australia and China in the area of science and research. This science and research collaboration has been on for 50 years, even before Australia and China had diplomatic relations. So one of the first collaboration between Australia and China was in the area of radio astronomy. Fast forward, to today, and with Chongqing, we've got a number of connections. Earlier on, I mentioned that, of course, this holographic company called Euclidean is working with Chongqing Survey Institute to survey, Chongqing. And Chongqing, of course, is a 3D city with mountains and rivers, and it's very hard to draw a map. So therefore, it's perfect for a company like Euclidean to actually work together with the Survey Institute. Another great project comes under the Australia-China Science and Research Fund. This is a fund that is set up by two countries, science ministries of two countries, including MOST, which is the Ministry of Science and Technology in China. And they've set up a new joint research center in Chongqing in the area of future green energy. So this is a collaboration between the University of Melbourne and the Chongqing Institute of Green and Intelligent Technology. So I've visited this institute in Chongqing, the Institute of Green and Intelligent Technology, and it's absolutely impressive. So I'm very glad that these two sides are actually collaborating in this area, because I think that it's quite clear that the world needs green energy, and I'm glad that Australia and Chongqing are working together in this regard. The last area I want to talk about is a very important area for us, and that's in the health sector. Health sector, 大健康 is very important, for Chongqing in China and Australia as well.
Mhm.
Australia has a very big cancer treatment company called iChongqing, and
Mhm.
they have joined up with Chongqing's one of the hospitals there, the Sanpo Hospital, to do a joint cancer treatment center. So therefore, working together in the treatment of cancer, we will see a joint center being launched this year. So that has been years in the making, and I'm very excited that this is actually going to come to fruition this year.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really great to hear that you have so many companies and corporations in different sectors, and because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so we cannot interview you in person. So but I want to know if Australian Consulate General have any engagement with Chongqing this year.
Mm. Yes, well, I like Chongqing very much, and I always like to go to Chongqing. And last year I visited 20 times,
Oh, really?
which is a record for me. This year,
Yes.
unfortunately, because of the pandemic, I haven't been able
Mhm.
to go that often. But
Mhm.
but I did actually make a visit, in March, which is very early, very
Oh,
early on
yeah.
as
Yes.
well. Even though the situation was still sort of being managed at that time.
Mhm.
Um, we wish we could have done a lot more, but because of the epidemic and the conditions are not quite right, and international travel is not possible, it's very
Mhm.
hard. But I want to say that we continue to be very interested in actually collaborating with Chongqing. So last year
Mhm.
we held the in 2019 the Australia-China Chongqing Economic and Trade Forum, which
Oh.
was a high-level forum. We hope that
Mhm.
will. We're planning for that, to take place again in the near
Oh.
future, hopefully next year. But that's something that we want to keep going on. This year, we also participate in the Oolong International Green Development Forum last month.
Oh.
Very important forum, which we are delighted to showcase Australian sort of green development.
Mhm.
And as I mentioned also, this year in January, uh, Ambassador Graham Fletcher, our Australian
Mhm.
ambassador to China, visited Chongqing, and in the southwest of China, Chongqing
Mhm.
was his first stop. So indicating how important Chongqing is. Um,
Yes.
uh, other things that we are planning to do is that this year is the 15th anniversary of the sister city relationship between Chongqing and Brisbane.
Yes.
Brisbane
I
is
heard
the
that.
third
Mhm.
largest city, and so we are planning an event to mark that. So that's in the
Um,
plans as well. So I think that in future we can expect more events and collaboration between Australia and Chongqing.
yeah. Okay. One last thing is I want to hear your comments on Smart China Expo. And do you have any words you want to talk about the Smart China Expo?
Well, I think that COVID-19 and the worldwide pandemic has made smart technologies even more important. And
Mhm.
so I believe that Smart China Expo has a role to play in
Mhm.
basically connecting the world and making sure that the world is a better place.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Lin. And thank you again for accepting our interview this time. And I hope
Not
to see you in person soon.
Yes, hope to see you soon.